copyright speakers, bro. Because I would say like play
Facts,
some music.
facts, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
YouTube be tripping on
Yeah,
that.
YouTube definitely be tripping.
We probably had to start live streaming our podcast on Twitch. That'd be something for the future.
Yeah, I mean we could do that
Because
though.
Twitch don't ban your music.
Yeah. Can you cuss on Twitch though? I think like it's certain stuff you can't do on Twitch. I know that for a fact.
You can cuss on Twitch. I don't think it's just gonna be OD. Like
yeah. I mean I don't know, bro. We don't really try to do too much of that.
We'll get that when we get there.
Yeah, profanity part. We locked in though, bro. Like we
say less. Hey man, so we getting right to it. Another episode of Paradigms Perspective Podcast, episode 4. You know the vibes, baby. It's your boy Zay and Kobe. You feel me? And like always, we gonna get what you got for him today, Brody.
Oh, we talking about self-delusion. Yeah, man. A lot of people
break that down for him, bro, because I don't think people really.
It's a real problem.
It is. And let me intervene on that real quick. If anybody seen our main character syndrome video on Instagram, that was literally what self-delusion is about. It was a lot of people in the comments saying, "Oh, everybody's the main character of their life." Of course, absolutely.
You are.
The point that we were making was that a lot of people make their position in other people's lives bigger than what it is. So it's like you're wanting to be the main character in somebody else's story. It's like that's never been the intended case for it to be.
You can't make your role in someone else's life bigger than the role that they play in their life.
Nah.
Like you can't sit there and tell somebody what you are and what you mean to them.
Right.
That's where a lot of people go wrong at.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you make things about you and it's really not about you. It's really not about you. Like when you make things about you and it's really not about you, like it really has nothing to do with you. So like for instance, I'm a person that whether we friends, whether we acquaintances, whether I don't know you or not, man, I'm gonna respect you. I'm gonna give you the respect that meeting you off the muscle. Like that's just how I was raised. That's my morals. That has nothing to do with who you are as a person, what your skin tone is, what your sexuality is, nothing. I'm gonna give you the respect. So for a person to come to me like, oh yeah, you respect me because you know what I'm saying, I do this, that, and the third for you. And it's like, no, I'm not. I was gonna do that. I was gonna hold this door.
That's just how I am. That's who I am as a person already. So it's like
I was going, if you needed something, you know what I'm saying, and I got the means to provide it for you, I was gonna give off the strength of who I was,
my character,
not about who you know what I'm saying, who you are and what you mean to me. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people mess up at, is because they make their role in other people's lives bigger than what it really is. And let me be quite frank, it can be annoying.
Oh, what? Because I've met so many people, and let's really dive into it. Because people get so caught up into the self-delusion that they start to create this false world into their head to the point to where they're only living in this false reality within their head. So within the collective reality, they have no idea what's actually going on because they're so wrapped up in this mental delusion, this self-delusion that and because their ego protects this self-delusional world, most of the time you can't tell these people anything. And when you try to, it's like they I don't know the word I'm looking for. They reject that anything that you're saying is like, nah, but it's like, no one's even trying to come at you. It's just letting you know, like, this could be a serious issue for you leading down the road.
Because at the same time, you can't sit there and try to be everything for everybody.
No.
You feel me?
No.
Because at some point, somebody's going to say, okay, you don't mean, this is what you mean to me. And this is your role you play in my life. I don't need you to play any role that's bigger than that.
Right.
I don't need you to do anything. And for that person that is, can be delusional at times, it's a very heartbreaking moment for them. And sometimes they'll spiral into something that they can't control.
Exactly.
Or going out, now they want to find somebody new to be friends with, or they want to find somebody new to kind of
address the issue, which is within.
That's all it is. Yeah. It's you trying to mean something or feel needed, and that's not the time or the place to feel needed or to mean something to them.
And the reason why that being self-delusional can be so detrimental for somebody is because, say for instance, a person is creating a self-delusional world in their head. They continue on this year after year, year after year. Then say for instance, once they get to that point to where they understand, like, okay, I'm living in a self-delusional world within my head, and it's not really in alignment with the collective reality. All those years that they've been on that you have wasted, and you have to, if a person is trying to recover from that self-delusional world, you have to work through all those years. You have to go through
layers.
Yeah, you have to go back through them layers. You don't just you change one day, it's like, oh, okay, I'm back. No, you have to go back through them layers and
then it goes into like we always say, like just seeing things for what it is.
Facts,
so
brother.
Then you start having to have a very come to Jesus moment, as people would say, just with yourself, and then you have to have multiple if you've been delusional with yourself. So I know everybody's not a realist. I know everybody is not one of those people, you know, because that
comes with self-awareness.
Yeah, I know everybody's not a realist, and that's just, let's just be honest. Sometimes that's just in your personality to be a realist. Somebody that, you know what I'm saying, just be, you know, a person that's very upfront, honest, and sometimes they come off as negative, but they're not really negative. They're just being a person that's just like brutally honest with themselves and others. That can be considered hating, but that's another day for another subject.
Hey man, that's definitely.
But what I would say is you have to have some type of realist qualities in you as a, well, I don't want to say not as a delusional person, but if you like, just sit down with yourself sometimes. Sometimes take yourself outside your body, bro, and look at yourself in a situation and say that situation really wasn't about me. Ego. Just remove it. And it's very hard for certain people to do that because number one, they
ego 24/7.
Yeah, and number one, they've been spoiled all their life, or somebody has always they told them that they, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes, bro, you don't mean nothing to nobody, bro. Like, and I ain't gonna say that in a hurtful or harmful way, but it's not a demeaning type of thing. It's more so like you wasn't real. Even thought about when we did this.
Yeah, it's just being
you
real.
Weren't the one. Like, a lot of people could say like, oh yeah, I thought you were talking
credit for stuff and stuff.
Yeah, like okay,
no
let me
hand
say,
in that.
like let me be honest, man. Like, we had made the first episode and somebody said, yeah, I thought you were talking about, you know what I'm saying, me in a certain episode, and it's just like,
hey, you know what? However you perceive it, take it like that. You know what? Because like we said in the other episode, we can't control how somebody perceives. So it's like if your mental delusion, your self-delusion takes you to that point to where you think,
I had to stop fighting it because then the person that's the realist, we get to fighting it sometimes, and then
you take yourself out of being a realist. Like, you get so caught up in the negative. That's why I realized with the comments, I'm like, let me pull myself back out.
So let me just go ahead and okay, you got it. Like, I'm not gonna be one of those people that, you know, tell you no, it's not my job to reassure you that you weren't thought of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. Like,
that's what you think.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. Like, literally, like, no facetiousness, none of that.
Nah,
we good. Right.
Yeah, like, don't even matter. So it goes into the next point of just being a person that is very honest with yourself. You want to be honest with yourself for the simple fact of nobody else is going to be as honest as you can be. Because you know what you do. You know the stuff you put in. You know the work you put in. You know the hours you do something, the hours you're not doing something.
You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. Eventually, you're going to be like, I know I ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You can have everybody else fooled. You can't fool yourself. That's one person you can't fool.
And it goes to a lot of places. I mean, me personally, like, I done had some times where, like, I know for a fact I didn't put in the amount of work or the amount of effort that I should have been putting in, and I had to be very real with myself and say, okay, it's people telling me I'm gonna be here and do this and do that, but I know I ain't do none of the work to do that or be in that position.
Yep.
So I was a very, you know what I'm saying, realist person.
Most realists know what it takes to get to that.
You feel me? But sometimes people be delusional and they surround themselves with delusional people. And now it's a group of y'all that's very delusional. It's a group of y'all that's very delusional,
man.
And y'all don't.
Like you said, they click together. So when they click together, they don't even understand that they've created a bubble, like a vortex of self-delusion. So it's like no one's really checking each other because everybody's within their own self-delusion. It's just like
that junk is so bad in our culture too, though.
That's a bar.
Like, that junk is bad in our culture.
Yeah.
Because, like, I could just see, like, just where we going and where things are headed. Like, it's a lot of people that think these folks is out here having. And,
come on, bro.
And just in the grand scheme of things, you really not having.
No, you're not.
And I don't want to. Yeah, and I don't want to necessarily get a. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, people think I'm talking about specific people and stuff like that. But no, I'm just being a very general term.
Right.
It's like I'm not talking about any type of one person. Like you just got to watch what you consume, and that's what I leave it at. As far as like being a delusional person, or like knowing a delusional person, or knowing a person that's, you know what I'm saying, claiming to be this and they're not really living that. Like, I'm not claiming to be no super success coach, no nothing. I don't want to tell you how to live your life. I don't want to tell you how to do none of that. I'm not going to ever claim that. But I will tell you that I'm speaking from the experiences that I've been in.
Got some game for you.
You feel me? The experiences that I've seen others live. I'm the youngest of, you know what I'm saying, a plethora of siblings. Yeah. I was always the young and around old head, so I listened to both.
Exactly.
I kind of created a lane with the young people. So
being that really, I'm in the middle. Like we're at that perfect age to where that's why I like our podcast so much, because we kind of serving as something like a gateway.
Yep.
Because we can still tap on the youth, and we been around a lot of old heads. Like since I known you, we always been around old heads and like chopping it up with them, like really talking to them. So I mean, it's that perfect segue.
We definitely had a different maturity level than you know what I'm saying, people we were kind of our peers, but that didn't make us any better or any different than our peers. We was able to connect with them and older people, and I love that about us, because that's kind of how we got to be, you know what I'm saying, close to friends. And so it was just, it was just a perfect storm, bro.
Right.
It was just a perfect storm. So but even with us, like, you know what I'm saying, having a little bit of success on TikTok and a little bit of success,
our head ain't
nowhere near delusional about stuff. I'm still got to go do some groundwork. Still got to come in. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we still got to come in like, okay, we got to plan a day. We still got to save up, you know what I'm saying? Pay for, you know what I'm saying, certain things, bro. Like, we still got places that we want to be. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not hopeful and praying and, you know what I'm saying, putting in the hard work towards it. But at the same time, like, we not finna sit here and listen to nobody say, oh, boy, y'all famous. Y'all ain't got on.
Yeah.
Because it's like we talked about, is once people get that little success, they kind of sit back and chill.
It's crazy how all our talk come in full circle,
it just come into fruition, right?
That's a bar. I definitely remember. We definitely talked about that. People that get, and you said it, they get to a certain point and it's just they feel like,
lay
it's
back.
like, nah, that ain't it. Like I said,
we
trying to get these pop. Soon as I'm like, well, you called me. You like, bro, I had to call you. I'm like, bro, what's next? Like, we got to move on this, bro. Like,
it's time to go, bro. Like,
my told me the same thing. She like, I hope y'all don't think y'all about to take a break. These folks want some more. Like, we about to get back to it.
We're going right back to the studio, man. We're going right back to cooking up.
I have to. Cause I think that ties into not being in that self-delusion, though. Like, person a self-delusional person would have took this situation like, oh, we good. Like, we just like, nah, bro. This you got that base, but you gotta keep building on that foundation, on that base, bro, or it won't go nowhere, bro. So segue into that. You had anything else left on this topic?
We was really talking about the next. I was just.
You want to get into that? How
this culture
I'm
Trump
gonna let you
vision.
Get into it, bro.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good question. That's a good just topic to talk on, because like in some areas, like, you might feel like the culture is not right, and so you got a different vision.
Yeah. And you seeing your vision not really aligning with this this current culture. And
you feel me?
You started like, damn, like, am I doing that? Because I feel the same way about my stuff sometimes. Like, because a lot of my designs and whatnot, it don't really align with the urban culture, like streetwear and all that. That stuff. It's just like I put real art and time and effort into my design. I'm not saying nobody else don't, but my artistic process is in such a way that it creates certain designs that just you don't really see within like the culture like that.
Facts.
So if I was a certain person that felt like culture was bigger than my vision, I would have been that type of person like, oh, I got to change up my design. Cause and we talked about in the last episode 2. We was like, we trying to create a new culture.
Yeah.
Like, man, old culture out the window. If you still hanging on to that, You left in 2020 late. It's over with. It's over with. It's just what it is. So
2020 late.
No, facts though. That's 100. That culture is most people who still hanging on to that is the one because those are the ones who came up off that culture. So they need that to stay afloat. We don't need that to stay afloat, we don't, bro.
Man, like, you gotta always be thinking about, like, how you can sustain what you have built, but reinvent yourself at the same time. It's kind of like we talked about with, you know what I'm saying, the shirts and stuff like
Evolution,
that. Yeah, so, like, I know you have a different vision than what the culture is right now. And so, I'll say, okay, keep up with the trends, but then again, we're not going to, just because you're keeping up with them don't mean we're going to follow them.
For sure.
Just don't mean we're going to get on the train, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Certain colors.
Knowing what's going on, but still staying on your own.
Yeah, like, let's just be real. Like, the new wave is the new 70s dope boy type of style and stuff like that, as far as trends and apparel and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that might not be in your code, like, you know what I'm saying, what you want to put in your repertoire. Like how you want to, you know what I'm saying, put your apparel line, because that's not the values that you hold. You don't want to be persuaded, you know what I'm saying, anyone to thinking that that's what you want.
Exactly, because you conform to one little piece of something that's not within what you wanted. You liable to crash your whole thing, bro.
It's the details.
Man, that was minor details, bro. That's 100.
It's the minor details, and so I think the biggest thing about us is, like, we understand that what the culture is, but at the same time,
we don't care about going along with the wave. Let's just be we always been like
we
that.
We got a different vision than everybody.
And we see it, bro. Like,
and it's okay. I want everybody to understand that it's okay to have that different vision than the culture, and it's okay to be, you know, feel like the outcast or feel like the lame. It's okay to feel, you know what I'm saying, different than anybody else. Now, it's certain stuff that, you know, the system kind of got you got to do.
Right.
I ain't going to sit here and say, you know what I'm saying, go do some illegal stuff or go. It's certain stuff that where you kind of have to put yourself in, you know what I'm saying.
Right. Just staying true to yourself, though, really. At the end of the day, staying true to yourself and understanding that regardless of what the outside world doing, I see my vision, I know my vision, and I'm going to conform this reality that I'm in to align with my vision for my vision can thrive. That's what it comes down to. Because any strong-minded individual, they have that ability to conform this reality to align with their vision.
Well, you could just see, like, as far as just entrepreneurship, man, all the businesses that kind of are willy-nilly, like, they try to keep up with the trend, or they
burn out quick.
It's not a long-lasting brand.
Burn out quick.
Like, I feel like, don't get me wrong, like, I understand that you know what I'm saying, you my partner, and you know what I'm saying, we talk, and I'm always for your business. I'm a you know what I'm saying, wish a lot of blessings on it, but I feel like that you're one of those people that you're trying to build a brand, and you're not just trying to build.
This ain't for the quick money, bro.
Yeah, you're not trying to build no merch for this season. No. You're not trying to, you know what I'm saying? And I think that could be like the culture right now, the new merch or the new, you know what I'm saying, the quick.
It's so like quick and
just it could dull out in a, you know what I'm saying?
And it do. I seen it multiple times.
You feel me?
I seen it multiple times.
Like, it can come and go. You're not for the wave. You're just trying to sustain a decent brand and a decent following and
want that longevity, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I really felt you when you said last episode that, you know, like, you going broke betting on yourself. I think that's a key to, you know what I'm saying, your vision. Yeah. That's something that you have visualized, and you can see, like, okay, even if I do get on my last penny, my last dollar, like, I'm still going to continue to bet on myself. And I think that's when people are most successful, because they understand that ain't
no turning back, bro. Yeah, burning the boat, sink the ships, bro.
Yeah.
It take a different level of courage to burn the boats and sink the ships. When you say, bro, I'm going all in, and whatever the outcome is, I'm okay with it. But for me to be able to say I went all in, cool.
And so,
I'm just going to do it again.
Exactly. But so that kind of, you know what I'm saying, segue into our last point. Like some delusion is good delusion.
That's
though.
True. That's a bar. Because when it comes to your vision, you low key gotta be kind
of. You have to be delusional.
That's a bar.
So I really didn't even, you know what I'm saying. I wasn't even going to speak on that. But some delusion is good delusion because at the end of the day, like I continue to say, nobody's gonna believe in what you know what I'm saying, see and how you see things specifically. Nobody's gonna have the devil in the detail like crazy. You are. Yeah. You feel me? And so like it could sound very delusional, or it could sound to other people like, oh, it should.
Especially to a small-minded person.
To a person that's not on your aligning your vibration, to a person that can't, you know what I'm saying?
If it don't, then you need to go back to the drawing board.
You're not dreaming big enough. You're not your vision not, you know what I'm saying, going high enough. You're not really trying to be successful. That's if your junk not sound like, dang, this nigga said he want to be what? Yeah. You want to be what?
If he don't squint his eyes and do it, you need to go back to the drawing board.
You said what? You want to be the biggest household brand, name brand in America? Like what?
Stand on it.
What?
Stand on it. Straight faith and all.
Crazy.
Good. Take that check to the bank. Cash.
You feel me? So that's that's something that you can do. And if you shoot for the stars and land on the moon, you're still in a good ballpark. You're still a good ballpark.
Like, so you're still in a good ballpark. I ain't get where I'm at, but I'm pretty damn good.
You look back from where you came from, and then you understand, like, man, I was just on Earth.
Yeah. Even me looking back in 2020, I know I got so far to go, but even when I look back at 2020, I'm like, damn, I've really been sticking and moving. When you in the zone, and when you're like the one that you don't really pay attention, but when you sit back and like, man, you really been, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, you'll never understand how many times I got criticized for being the old head in college.
Yeah,
man.
I feel
it's like
me too, bro.
But it was like, man, you feel me? Like y'all saying, okay, yeah, I'm 20, about to be 23, 24 in college still, but in the long run, like, I'm gonna have a master's.
Telling you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I'm gonna be better than anybody, but at the end of the day, I see myself on an upward trend. This can only be. It can only add to my resume. It can only add to my resume. And why not leverage it when I got, you know what I'm saying, still some old college football left in me and things like that, man. I'm grateful for every opportunity that HBCU has given me. I'm grateful for any coach that I ran into throughout college, any teammate I had, anybody, professor, anything. I'm grateful for all those opportunities because at the end of the day, they kind of molded me into the person I am. It gave me a platform where I felt, comfortable and able to speak publicly on the things that I had went through throughout college. Like, it's just, I was delusional. Yeah. I was a good delusional, though, in college. Like, man, I'm finna graduate in 3 years. I'm trying to go get my master's in 4.
Regardless of what somebody else saying.
I graduated in 3.5 years and I got my master's in 5.
Like you said, you shot for you landed on the moon.
But I landed on the moon. I still got there. Like,
telling you.
You feel me? So it's just, being able to be somewhat good delusional and being able to have a vision that's beyond the culture. You still have culture in you. I know my personal culture is like, I played football. So wherever I put on the jersey, I'm a be whoever I'm gonna be. Yeah. Like, it didn't matter what. In high school, I was the same person that went to college. Same person. Like, he gonna work hard. He never gonna be late to a workout. Yeah. He gonna get up, give y'all his best, and he gonna go to class. Right. That's what I did.
That's who you are. Yeah.
So that's just who I am. That was my personal culture. That was my culture within inside myself.
Somewhat like your brand.
It is my brand, and so that was the culture I had inside myself. So that's the same thing I'm gonna give this podcast thing to do. Like, I'm gonna put on my jersey. Like, it may not be actual with my name on the back, exactly, but saying, I'm gonna get up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all my best. I'm gonna come in here when I,
100
is on my best, grind. I'm gonna speak on what's on my mind. I'm gonna give it 100%. Like I said, when I called you, like, dang, bro, you see this? Like, and you talking something, let's do it. Like, and
next
I said,
move,
that's
bro.
what we doing. Like, that's what we doing. So it's just your personal culture should almost align with your vision. Like, I would think, and it goes down to now the culture of something else may not align with your vision, and therefore you may have to, remove yourself or go a different route or, try to, wean yourself off of wherever you at.
Right.
I know for a fact transferring schools.
Yeah.
The culture
That's
that I was
definitely
at,
different.
it just
talk
didn't
about that a little bit
align.
because you was up at B-Mar.
Yeah, I was in Baltimore and
Blues. Look at this.
Yeah, I was up there with the dummies and the U and you know what I'm saying, man. It was a great time though. I think being away from home, you know, being away 10 hours away from home, it just was like a real culture shock. Mm-hmm. But I go back into coming on to my third year at the school. It's just the culture that we had. I won't even say necessarily like the school because I love the school. I think the culture that just the athletic department had, and no shade. This ain't nothing like I
100.
love my alma mater. I graduated, and you know, got my degree and love my experience at Morgan.
It's just a difference though.
It just the culture wasn't aligned. I'm used to Southern football, and
smash my partner.
You know,
gotta go get it.
You feel me? Yeah. So. And this ain't no sports podcast, so I don't want to get too much into it. But it's just the culture that I was a part of wasn't what I, you know, thought I should be, you know, aligning myself with. So I then got in the transfer portal when it first opened. Like, oh man, I can't have no consequences. I might as well go try to be closer to home. My last year and just be able to talk football for real.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to talk about anything else that's going outside. Like, I want to go to a place where I play football.
Facts.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still trying to get my education and stuff like that. But besides going to class, like, what are we talking about? Like, let's go on this field.
Yeah, let's get this dub.
You feel me? So, I ended up fortunately being able to get a scholarship at North Carolina Central. That was just a blessing in disguise.
That was a great move for you, bro.
Man, wow! Like last year, like.
It was like a Cinderella damn story.
Or you feel me? Like, man, like I couldn't have drew it up no better. Like last year, winning team 10-2, went to a HBCU national championship, the Celebration Bowl, man. Like just being able to, I should have wore the ring, man.
Next
time I bring it on, I bring it on just to show everybody. But man, just to be at HBCU national championship and then who we won it against, like Deion Sanders, one of the all-time great football players. He's going to end up being like one of the all-time great football coaches, playing against his son, playing against some other, you know what I'm saying, big names like Travis Hunter and stuff like that on that stage at home, like literally in my backyard.
That was an instant classic.
You know, going into overtime, man, that jump was like, man, I couldn't, like I said, I've been getting blessed abundantly these last few months, and they coming in bundles right now, and I can't do nothing but thank, you know what I'm saying, my higher up, and continue to kind of just work.
But remember, we talked about a lot of stuff that we gonna be walking into these next couple of years is back pay to stuff we've been putting in work behind the scenes. It's just a lot of stuff just getting, you know what I'm saying?
Facts, bro.
The fruition just coming to
because bro,
play.
A lot of people don't understand. Like we had these talks, but we was also like having these talks with eating ramen noodles in college,
bro. For real.
Or we was having these talks like doing dual enrollment in high school, bro. Like at the house, like. We ain't got nothing to eat. Like we can't get no job. We're going back and forth between
struggling, but we know what we're gonna get to.
Yeah, you feel me? Like, you know, there's been times and days where we just, you know, it was just us, bro. Yeah. Like it was just us, bro. Like, and then
that's why we vibe like this, though, bro.
Facts. I mean, you can just see that we real friends, bro. They can fit this to the screen, for sure, for sure. Because it just at the end of the day, bro, like we didn't got into the point where we'll get in the car, bro, like. Dang, where y'all about to go, bro? We're not about to go nowhere, bro. We just sitting in here talking, bro. Like we just catching up, bro.
That's it, bro.
And sometimes we'll be like, it's been times where, man, I'd have been over his house, he done been over my house, and we haven't said a word, and we just, you know,
just vibing.
Yeah, and when it's the conversation come about, man, we'll talk, have a conversation, but
we just don't feel like we need to fill the space all the time.
We trying to have meaningful dialogue, and we thank everybody for viewing and listening and tuning in to have that type of dialogue with us because. It helps us, you know, in the end of the day, y'all are motivating us and we're motivating y'all. And we love that type of banner and stuff like that.
Because us seeing that y'all are interested in what we're talking about, for me personally, I know for you too, like, I'm sure for you too, I was already taking it serious, but when you start seeing the interaction, like, okay, like, especially, for example, like, with all the women followers we've been getting on TikTok, once you get a woman's ear, that's you know what I'm saying.
She is the golden.
You know what I'm saying. Child. Like you got to treat that with some type of care, bro. Facts. Because a woman just don't give her ear to anybody. Man, so when you get it, like you got to really like, okay, like I'm really about to give y'all some game.
Nah,
for
you
real,
probably gotta say that again, bro.
But like real talk,
once
like,
you get a woman's ear, bro,
a woman don't give her ear to anybody. So when you get her ear, bro, you really got to make sure you cultivate her mindset how it needs to be cultivated, bro. Like you can't. I feel like it's something you can't really play with, bro. Because
I agree.
That's just 100.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But yeah, man. It's just
anything else you want to.
It's just been a journey, man.
Been a journey, bro.
Y'all keep tuning in, man. This is another episode of Paradigms and Perspective. Me and Zay, man. We coming. We dropping them on y'all.
Yeah,
we dropping them on y'all. Y'all stay tuned, man. It's a lot of things coming up. We got big plans for the podcast. We want to continue to thank y'all for the support, and yeah, peace and love.
Peace.